Hi, everyone. We have a very special coaching minute today because I have with me today Rob Dube, who is many things. But what we're going to talk about today is the fact that he is the author of one of my favorite books called Shine. And the subtitle is How Driven People Can Live a Life of Exceptional Success and Profound Purpose. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you for having me, Brenda. Nothing makes me happier than spending time with you. That's the
Right
best.
back at you.
The
So,
best.
I have read the book Shine in print. I've listened to it. I've also been through a lot of the material that Rob Dube and his co-author Gina Wickman have written together, and it's profound. I think, Rob, just the idea that we could have both drive, which everyone listening to this has that in spades, and peace, but at the same time, not just on vacation, which we don't do very well either. So, talk a little bit about that.
Okay, great. So, we talk about the fact that you're driven, which you just shared and everybody knows. We also talk about the fact that it's a blessing because you're the change makers in this world. You're the ones that make impact, no matter what it is that you're doing. But it's also a curse. Sometimes you might leave a black trail behind yourself because you lose yourself in everything that you're doing. And so, the idea is like, how can I find some peace in all this? So then we take it down to what we call discovery number two, which is that all decisions are made from love or fear. And we want you to make all your decisions, obviously, from love. And these decisions aren't just decisions, they're feelings, they're emotions that are going on within you each and every day. And so when you can become more self-aware of all those things that are going on at a very deep level, and we have all kinds of, suggestions around that,
Mhm.
you begin to find peace and it helps you manage your drive. It really helps you focus, create boundaries, and work on the things that are really most impactful in your life.
Mhm.
It also helps you work with people in a much
Mm.
different way. It also helps you work with the loved ones in your lives in a much different way
Yeah.
because oftentimes driven people have great success in their businesses, but things are struggling in their personal life. I'm sure that it sounds kind of like an obvious, like if you put too much weight one way, the other way maybe suffers a little.
Yeah,
And
no
so,
doubt.
but it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to. There are just some small things that you can do that make a
Mm.
huge difference.
Well, let's just talk a tiny bit about your story because I believe before you met Gino, who is the founder of Traction, you owned a very successful company, which you ended up selling. Tell us a little bit about that and when you were, and then you bought it back and sold it again, I believe, right? So very successful by all measures in our society. But tell us a little bit about when you were in it, in the heat of just drive and not a lot of peace. Like how was that for you and how does this apply?
Yeah, I definitely, upon reflection, which I've had many years to do now, is I was not a great person. I was,
Doubt
it's
that.
so sad. I hate saying it,
It does give
but
us that
no,
edge, though. The drive comes with an edge that we
I
don't
was
love
just
about ourselves.
so, yeah, I was just so focused and driven and it was just causing me all kinds of anxiety and stress. And when I started to slow things down a little bit and go a little bit deeper inside myself, and
Mhm.
listen, I'm not here to suggest every single person should take that path. I think it's a great path to go down. I mean, self-discovery. I think knowing yourself is one of our
Mhm.
disciplines, know
Yep.
thyself. And, I think that's a worthy cause because when I got to know myself better, I started to see things more clearly, how my actions were
Mhm.
creating havoc in my life and knowing that, I could make changes that were obviously better
Mhm.
decisions from love.
Yeah.
And when things started to settle down in my body, I
Mm.
was clearer about everything. And then I would just make better decisions. And when I made better decisions, all the things that I hoped for in my life just came with more ease and oftentimes
Yeah.
more quickly.
Mm.
So it seems like a better path.
Yeah. So is that a way of saying, and was it true for you that once you started applying some of these things that later became the 10 disciplines, did it bring more success faster with ease?
There's no question. And that's not to say I didn't still have challenges and struggles. I
Right.
mean, if you're driven, if you're in business, you're going to have struggles and challenges. There will be
Yeah.
frustrations. You are going to have moments of failure, which I think are actually just lessons. So you're more successful on the other side of it.
Yeah.
But this all helps you come at it with a embodied
Mm.
more from embodies easement, ease from your body. In other
Yeah.
words, you can try to convince your mind all you want and do the intellectual exercises. It usually doesn't work. You really have to bring it down to your cellular level, into your
Mm.
body. And when you can embody, like, oh, this is just a moment in time, your body's just feeling free and
Yeah.
knowing it's just a knowing that it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that, and this is where entrepreneurs, founders, CEOs, and high-level leaders all meet, because even if you didn't found the company, you still have that kind of stress and obviously the drive, because that's what got
totally.
you there. And it's kind of the same shit. And you and Gino talk a lot about deal with your shit, right?
We do. We definitely
And
do.
so it's not a cost benefit thing, right? It's not to know yourself better and do some of the 10 disciplines. It doesn't cost you your drive.
No, no. It sets you up to use your drive in a more focused
Mm,
way. And when it's like anything. It's like, why do laser beams cut through,
right.
steel? Because it's very focused
There,
energy. And that's what we write about is use your energy in a really focused way.
yeah,
And people feel that. They pick up on it. When your energy is out of sorts, you can try to show up like no, like nothing, like you got it all under
right.
control. People feel a weird energy, and they may not even be able to intellectualize it. They can just feel something's off with you,
No
and
doubt.
that makes everything off.
Yeah,
Everything, your team, whatever your situation is that you're working on, it all gets disrupted. And so, when you can harness all of this and come
right.
at it with a different energy, people feel that too.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most common is that if you're volatile,
Yeah.
people are a little afraid of that, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's
That's not
so,
good.
some leaders you know best. I mean, you work with so many driven people. Some are like the type that just hide it, so they bottle it
Yeah.
all up and they kind of,
Yeah. Suffer in
go about it
silence.
like, yeah, exactly. And others are just like, they're just you 100% know times 10,
Exactly.
how
Times
they're feeling.
10.
And
Exactly.
neither one is good,
Yeah. Neither one is
So
good.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, one of the things that the book Shine and the thought leadership that you and Gino have is about the 10 disciplines. And they're
Mhm.
really good, like know thyself. The most popular one in my WPO groups is don't do $25 an hour work,
Yes.
right?
Awesome.
Get controlling and get in the weeds. Um, take real time off. And one of the ones that, so in my Women Presidents group, we are all reading Shine and have had book club happy hours. And we just covered, in our March meetings, we just covered 10-year thinking. And it's immediately people go to 10-year goals, but it's
Right.
not. 10-year goals. It's 10-year thinking. Can you just talk about that a little bit for our viewers?
Yeah. So we want you to shift your mindset from short-term thinking to thinking in 10-year
Mm,
timeframes. And so if you imagine, sort of what you would like life to be like, feel like this visceral
mm,
sense of it, that will inform your actions in the present moment, today, this right now. And that's actually where we want you. So it's like, I don't want to say it's a trick, you know,
yeah,
but if you want to have a really healthy relationship with someone important with you in your life in the future, it makes a lot of sense to do that, right? Like start exhibiting those
yeah,
behaviors at this moment,
right.
and so you can be self-aware about that, and so that's what we're suggesting. The other thing is to give yourself a little bit of buffer, to,
Mm,
to say I have time.
yeah,
Some people go right to, I want my this is what I want, this is what success looks like to
right.
me. It could be their net worth, or it could be a
Sure.
lot of things like that. And one thing about driven people is when they get it in their head, they think it
Now.
should be like now. And what
Yeah,
we're just suggesting is, take a breath. You know, you have time.
yeah,
Set your thinking for 10 years and you won't feel the same pressure. And
right.
again, when you don't have that pressure on you, that your self-imposed pressure, you can settle things down. You can take your time. And when you do that, when you slow down, like I mentioned before, it always comes back to clarity
Yeah,
of mind, clarity of thinking. Your energy's clear. We say you're vibrating high.
yeah.
And that's the kind of energy you want to bring into the world, and the rest will take care of itself.
Well, and the weird or magical thing about 10-year thinking, because I did it in part of the cohort I was in with you
Yep.
a few years ago, and I just revisited it and updated it. It does give you that space to be, especially when you write your age 10 years from now and you write the date, it's very alarming. But then you do sort of relax into it, and it makes what you want actually come faster because
Yes.
it is kind of programming your thinking. And, it's the opposite of pressure
Hmm.
because you're feeling it, you're imagining it, you're writing it down, which I think is a crucial part of that step. And I would suggest if you're going to read the book, get a journal or a place to write the stuff down and do the actual work. Um, but it has this sort of even though it's just an exercise, it's a thought exercise, it has kind of this magical impact on your outcomes.
It doesn't. We always encourage people to read it often
Yeah.
and then realize that you can change it like
Yes.
whenever you want. Nothing is set in stone. And one of the things, because I've been doing it now for 3 decades, and one
Uh,
of the things that I learned as I'm in my fourth decade of doing it is it keeps getting simpler and simpler for
yeah.
me. But that's
Yeah.
just a personal experience,
Yeah.
is the things that I thought used to matter, they just don't matter anymore in the same
Yeah.
way. So it just keeps getting shorter and simpler for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's, as we wrap up here, I think it's this uh it's reorganizing our thinking that it has to be all drive
Yeah.
or all peace, which we're
Yeah.
never going to attain, right? Or that's back burner. I don't have time for that.
You weren't made for that.
No. And it's kind of the same with 10-year thinking that there are some, I mean, the first one that we cover is what do you want for your business in 10 years? And that's a number, right? Uh,
Yep.
what do you want your net worth to be like? And that's very concrete. And
Yep.
then you move right to relationships. And you're absolutely right in that how you are behaving now is going to drastically impact who you're standing next to in 10 years, if
That's
that is
right.
something that is important to you. And
Yeah, that's so
so,
true.
yeah. Well, I just wanted to give everybody a little taste of this because we're so into it in the WPO groups. and it applies to so many people who read and watch the Coaching Minute. Will you just tell us a little bit about the mastermind?
Yes. So Gino Wickman and I, as you mentioned, he's well known for the book Traction,
Hmm.
sold millions of copies, and EOS, Entrepreneurial
Yep.
Operating System, which many people use in their businesses. He and I kind of joined forces and we created what we call the True Self Mastermind. And
Mm.
so, its foundation is the book Shine. So we reinforce the concepts in the book pretty regularly.
Yep.
But what we do is we bring in new topics that maybe are adjacent to the book, but new
Yeah.
things we're learning. And so we share those topics. We kind of give a lot of information about it to let you, kind of see the world in a different way. We do
Hmm.
some experiences together. So we're big on learning and then experiencing
Right.
and then sharing. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of how the makeup of the group is. And these are all people that they just truly want to live from their true self
Mm.
all the time, 100% of the time. And they know it's just not quite there yet for them.
Yeah.
And so that's why they're in there. And it's a
And
great
would you
group,
say
really
most
special
are
people.
entrepreneurs?
Driven people or
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. It's a
Yeah.
mix. And yeah, just very, very special people. They
Okay.
want to make an impact in
Yeah.
a different way in the world. And
Right.
that's another key driver. And I should have said that at the outset, because that's a key driver to people coming in. They just realize you all are driven. You have something really special that was innate, you were born
Yeah.
with it. And it's like you can make a huge impact. And that doesn't mean, it can be in all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
It's sometimes when we think impact, it's like, how can I cure
Right.
this? Or, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean, yeah,
No. And I think one of the exercises we did is how many people do you impact in your leadership? If you just
right.
do
You
that
got it.
math, it's staggering,
It is.
right?
You got it.
For those
Yeah,
of us
that's the
that
perfect
are not
example.
research and development scientists and we're not really curing anything.
Right. I always say, like, if you're in business, you're a driven person and you're in business, I don't think there's any bigger test
Mm.
because you have to deal with everything. You have people
Yep.
around you, they have lives, those people have lives, and you're getting kind of all the energy around that. You
Yeah.
have to deal with money, which is a very
Yeah.
sensitive subject for people.
So
People
true.
that you're working with, sometimes it's their finances, it's the
Right.
company's finances, it's your own finances, and
Yeah.
you're trying to juggle out customers, their lives, their personalities, products that
Yeah.
work, that then they don't work. I mean,
So
you
true.
have to bring
It
it
is the
all
ultimate
together.
test.
That's right.
Agreed. Well, Rob, I cannot thank you enough. We're going to share when we share this coaching minute, we will share the links. So hopefully, I want people to read and buy the book and do it, do the work.
Thank
So
you.
uh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank
Okay.
you for making an impact in the world.
Well,
I
I'm
mean
so
that.
glad
I
you could
mean
take
that.
time today.